All right, we're back. Now let's look at 2-point perspective. Okay, so again, by default, if we have no perspective, if this is just an orthogonal, not orthogonal, what's it called? Orthospective drawing, where length and distance doesn't matter, so an object far away from you is the same size, then we only have 3 directions. We have vertical, we have horizontal, and we have one diagonal, right? This is useful for like architectural drawings, orthospective, meaning you could measure in the picture and 1 vertical inch in the picture is always the same length on the scale, no matter how far back in the drawing it is. So we could, have the front of a building and all of these are exactly parallel, and then just vertical and horizontal. That's no perspective. That's orthospective. Now we got a perspective drawing. That was 1 vanishing point. So our 3 directions were vertical, horizontal, and a single vanishing point for all diagonals. And essentially what that is imagine you're looking straight on at a house. So the front of a house is completely flat. You are right in front of it. It's not skewed to the side. You were looking dead on in the front of a building. So those are horizontal and vertical. It's often the distance that the back of the house gets smaller, right? And these other things, as long as they're not like slanted and skewed to you, that's when the other dimensions start getting perspective in them as well. But as long as a box off to the side is exactly flush, straight on, dead on to you, then the back can get smaller and smaller towards that vanishing point, and we get something like that, right? Okay. Well, now what we're going to do is we're just going to rotate this house. So instead, we're looking flush on at the front corner. And now things disappear off to the sides. Okay, so let's look at, so in a 2-point perspective drawing, you have the vertical, and then everything else from the vertical goes to 1 or 2 vanishing points, okay? Really common drawing is, let's just start with the cube. So we have the front corner looks like this. And then from the top to the right, we go to a vanishing point. And from the top to the left, we go to the vanishing point. So we get vanishing point to this side, vanishing point to this side. We get vanishing point to this side. Oh, that didn't snap. And then we get this one. Let's do it again. Vanishing point. There we go. All right. So that's kind of the framework for it. So now let's actually fill it in, okay? So we still have vertical. So at some point we cut this shape off with a vertical line. Let's do smaller on this side. So again, we cut it off with the vertical line. Well, now where do we go from there, right? Well, again, it's only to the vanishing point. So we take from this spot and we go to the vanishing point over here. And from this spot, we go to the vanishing point over here. And now we've got our shape, so we can just fill that in with some, okay, it goes that way, and here's our 2-point perspective rectangular solid here. So, and we get rid of those vanishing points. That's what it looks like. But again, really the theme is that we're looking dead on this front corner, and one side disappears to the distance and the other disappears. So really common is we have like a city street corner, and we're looking dead on the corner of a building. So let's do like a little rough draft of that. So let's draw one. Okay, so let's say we've got a 2-point perspective. We're looking at the corner of a building, okay? So here is the front corner of the building. Here is a vanishing point. Here's another vanishing point. So again, I'm going to start with this drawing, this building going out to the side and out to the side the other way. And I'm going to cut this building off somewhere. So this is going to be a pretty narrow building on one side, a little longer on the other. It's got some windows too, so I'm going to put a row of windows here. Oh, actually, that's going to be a door, and then this top one will be a window. Okay, so here's 2 windows that it's got. Here's a big double door. Again, it's all vertical, and there's the doorway. The top of the building goes off like this, and I'm going to add more than one building here, but this is just kind of like my key marker. So here's my first building, nice and done at the corner. Okay, and then out front, of course, we have sidewalks, okay? So let's add the sidewalk. So it goes something like this, and like this. And then I could kind of just round the corner. So we got this sidewalk going off, got this other sidewalk, and then for every single marker like split in the sidewalk, we just use a ruler and we draw it. So it go this way, and then you just keep going. I'm not going to draw them all because it would just take time, but it would be really easy if I had a ruler right now. But I'm going to kind of freehand these. But you can see they start getting much more slanted out this way. Oh, that was pretty dead on. So they start getting more closer together and more horizontal. So just to double check that I'm doing them kind of the right direction. Right, they look like that. And then same thing in the other direction. I take it from this. Oh, that line wasn't straight enough. I take it from this vanishing point, and I get this direction, and then up a little more. And so I start to get, looks like this. Okay, now I'm going to add another building in here. And let's just double check my directions on that. Okay, let's erase all this. Shoop. And shoop. There we go. Oh, I forgot to draw on that sidewalk line. Oh, well, that's good. Okay, so let's add another building here. So a little bit away, right? There's an alley in between. I've got a shorter building. Okay, so I want that to be vertical. So here's my shorter building. And it's a long, shorter building, so it goes to here. Again, where do I go with the other directions? To the vanishing points. Other than vertical, that's it. So back of the building or top of the building goes out this way. For the back of the building, I could have it stop wherever I want. I don't like lines to line up too well, so I wouldn't stop it there. I'd stop it here or here. That would be a very shallow building, so I'm going to have it stop somewhere around here. Like good artists can make anything work, but if my lines line up too similarly, then I find it just looks hideous. Now there's a bottom. This isn't an infinite building, so at the bottom corner, I also want to go back towards here. So at the bottom, I get that. Again, I'm going to have like a doorway here. So let's put a little line in here. This one's just going to be a single door here. And then I'll put like there's a window here. So, okay, so just giving you an idea of what you could do here. You could have your sidewalk, your street lines, right? Like this. Again, if you have a ruler, this goes so quick to just draw those yellow lines, like kind of like this. Oh, that second line was terrible. And again, all of these diagonals are going straight out to that vanishing point. With a ruler, it's so easy to line those up. You do the same thing over here, and you get these dotted lines going this way where the road is disappearing into the distance. You get a couple more buildings, but that's the idea of how to get that. And then again, you just erase all these guiding lines, and all of a sudden it looks like, oh my gosh, look, I'm such a good artist. It's amazing, right? Okay, now let's look at some actual examples by better quality artists. So here's a simplest, right? This is just 3 cubes. So you see clearly, right, the 2 vanishing points where every single non-vertical side is going in that direction, and then this direction, right? And then the vertical sides are still vertical. And that's true of all 3 cubes, regardless of whether they're, up here above or below or even on the horizontal line. It doesn't matter. You still follow those same rules. Here's a more complex form of architecture here, multi-story, weird house. That would be an interesting house. And then here's what we were doing, right, with the city corner. And here's another one. So just giving you a couple examples. All right, that's it for a 2-point perspective. Good luck on your drawing. I just had a couple here inside the house, so like in a bedroom and in a kitchen. So again, just following those same rules where there's a vanishing point in this direction, and you can actually find it on drawing, which I think is a fun exercise. And then you got another vanishing point going the other way. All right, guys, good luck.